Body looks pretty fine, I'm thinking. Normal, what's the issue, what's the problem? My heels are down, yay. That's really not as important as the spine. So right here, if my elbows are out to the side, if I angle the elbows 45 degrees to my feet, keeping everything else the same, my shoulder blades move from a inward stabled position against my spine, and if I rotate my elbows back, then it allows the shoulder blades to move back and down. When I do that, my spine and the sacrum, the whole column, will move on its own with breath. So it'll all show from the side and from the front, both ways. My hands are shoulder width apart, wrists creased to the front of the mat, parallel, fingers are wide, and I push back and keep my elbows. My arms are straight, I think, but my elbows are out 90 degrees. What my body and my shoulder blades think is that there's a potential that my whole upper body could collapse because my elbows are out to the side. So in doing that, because my elbows are out to the side, my shoulder blades come in to stabilize me. And it's much more uncomfortable with my shoulder blades doing all the work. So elbows, rotate, angle back slightly to open up the upper arm and angle the shoulder blades in the proper alignment and orientation. From here. So I'm taking my shoulder blades out of the way to give the rest of my back and the spine the ability to move backward and elongate from the head all the way to the sacrum, so it's both moving back naturally without just pushing on the sacrum. So as I exhale, the body comes towards gravity because there's no air. Still, well, there's less. There's some residual air in there, but there's not as much air as when I inhale in. And by opening the arms and angling the shoulder blades back and down, collarbones are angled also back and up, upward, slightly angled up. And that bucket effect of the ribs, also in an inversion, same thing as when you're in a standing posture in line with gravity and upward, creates the bucket effect with the ribs opening. So even when you're in an inversion and in down dog, if the shoulder blades and the clavicle collarbones are open, oriented correctly, then the chest capacity for the lungs to open, expand completely is present. So when you inhale, you float up a little bit, not like levitate, but your body, because you're putting air underneath the spine, in your ribs, the whole chest capacity is going to expand. When you inflate your lobes, you're stretching all the muscles pretty much in your entire body from head to toe. When you exhale, you take that elongation that you just gave yourself and you add it into your down dog. This elongation and and stability of the arms, shoulder blades, and the ability with the shoulder blades away from the spine to look up completely. You have normal flexion, extension of the neck. The spine on a whole is in an extension rather than a flexion. This will become really important though, to bring your head towards your knee when you want to come up into Warrior One and bring your foot right between your hands without lifting. So that flexion and the ability to move the shoulder blades away from the spine is part of coming up to Warrior One and Sun Salute B, and the ability to find the extra extension when you want to come up into an inversion. So the shoulder blades and the movement away from the spine. But breath is still key. So here we are. When you inhale and to look up, arms straight, elbows slightly back, fingers are wide, wrist crease parallel to the front of the mat. I'm looking past my hands, feet up, heels up, bringing my hips closer to my shoulders in the proper alignment compared to this. So again, this will make more sense when we do Warrior One. So maybe we should do that next. But if you keep your feet wide or hips width to jump up to your hands. Versus just trying. Sometimes I just do both ways, but bringing the toes together. It gives the hips and the pelvis, which is one stable base with two legs. Two legs are attached. If the legs are together, then it helps to direct and angle the hips, or just take out one of the rudders of a boat, basically. So you're putting both of the fins together and allowing for both to go in the same direction. So just play around, see what happens if your feet are wider or hips width apart from your down dog. I think my toes even touched naturally, but I don't know what they do every time. I'm not sure. But try out both ways. Bring your toes together and walk up a little bit if you can. I'm like totally paused here, but if your elbows are not back 45 degrees, they're here. Again, the potential for collapse because the fulcrum point is this and not stable. So the shoulder blades are here. They have one job, and all the shoulder blades want to do right now is prevent this. They don't want to elongate and help find space and movement when you come up into an inversion. They're like out of commission from keeping you from falling down. So make sure that the elbows are angled back.